Welcome to the free training on how to start a YouTube business in 2026 without ever showing your face or stepping in front of a camera. In this training, I'm going to be going over the 5 secrets as well as some updates for 2026 for doing this the right way. Because the best YouTube business that is out there is probably not the one that you think. And a lot of things have changed in this process. So I want to show you an updated way of doing this in 2026. And I'm going to show you the new way of running YouTube channels where you never have to show your face or step in front of a camera that can potentially become really huge businesses. I'm also going to show you the absolute best niches that are crushing it right now in 2026. In Secret 4 then, I'm going to show you the new way of generating content super easily. Again, it doesn't require you to get in front of a camera. You can use AI, and a lot of people right now are concerned about AI commoditizing things, and they wonder, how am I going to be able to succeed on YouTube if anyone can just generate these AI videos? And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that and some secrets on how you can avoid your channel ever becoming commoditized, and nobody's doing this. Nobody talks about doing YouTube in this way, so I want to show you what I'm personally doing right now with all of my different YouTube channels and what you can do as well. I'm also going to show you how you can monetize in a brand new way, which is going to be incredibly valuable. And then, like I said, some 2026 updates for this, because a lot of things have changed throughout my past 12 years on YouTube that I think you should really know about if you're going to be doing this. So that being said, let's get straight into it. My name is Matt Parr. I've been doing YouTube, like I said, for the past 12 years, and I've grown tons of channels to millions of subscribers, and I've helped tons of people do the same as well. But all that being said, I do need to give the disclaimer that my results are not typical. You probably will not make $10 million like I have. You probably will not become super rich just by watching this video. I do have to be upfront about that. But that being said, what I can guarantee is I'm going to show you exactly what I'm personally doing right now and all of my most successful students are doing, so you can have the best information that you can possibly get for doing this. And this is going to be potentially life-changing if you implement this information the right way. And today I'm going to show you a slightly different approach for doing YouTube that most creators and most people on the platform completely ignore. And that approach is summed up by virality is vanity. Things like this play button right here do not matter in the least. Subscribers don't matter, views don't matter. So you might be asking, well, Matt, what does matter then on YouTube? And I see some questions here in the chat. We're going to be doing a Q&A, by the way, at the end of this. So feel free to save any questions you have for the Q&A, and I'll be more than happy to answer all of these right here. So that being said, let's get into what is really interesting right now in 2026, which is that some of the most profitable YouTube channels right now this year are probably not the ones that you might think. You don't need millions of views to build a real business on YouTube right now. So who is this for? This is for if you currently run a faceless YouTube channel that you want to scale or possibly start more channels and you just want to know what are the best niches right now in 2026. This is also for people who are interested in starting a faceless channel. Maybe they want to start a YouTube channel, but they don't necessarily want to step in front of a camera and do everything that goes into that. This is for you as well. This is also for personal brand YouTubers. If you have a personal channel like I personally do with my channel Make Money Matt, and you'd like to start a personal channel, then these tactics will not only work for you, but any type of channel on YouTube these tactics work for. And it blows my mind that more YouTube channels are not doing these tactics, because I'm going to show you the secret that how I'm blowing up all of my channels, including my personal channel to over 900,000 subscribers, including all of my faceless channels to millions of subscribers. And more importantly than that, how I've made over $10 million from all of these channels. This is also for businesses who want to turbocharge what they're doing with YouTube. Now, I don't want to go over my journey for too long here. I just want to do a quick 1-minute recap of it, because I know a lot of people here might already know who I am and they might already know what I've done. But basically, I started YouTube when I was 14 years old. I had a couple $100s saved up from selling Pop-Tarts at school. And I kind of had an existential crisis at this age as well, where I was terrified of going down the traditional path of going to school, going to college, getting a 9-to-5 job, and then maybe retiring when I'm 65 years old. Not even guaranteed. And I felt broken, and I felt like I was meant for something more in this world, but I just didn't know what that was. And at the time, I did try starting several YouTube channels. I would do like backyard stunts with my friends and stuff like that. And we'd upload videos, and they would get barely any views. I'd be lucky if a video got 50 or 100 views. But I saw people online, living their dream lives from YouTube, being able to travel the world and do what they like with their time. So I knew it was possible. I just didn't know exactly how. And the turning point for me was when I discovered a simple top 5 video with millions of views. And it was a video just like this one right here, the 5 strongest signs of aliens in alien life. And it had millions of views on it. And it was literally just a voiceover in the video. And I thought to myself, you know what? I could potentially do this. I'm not the most charismatic person in the world. I can't be a daily vlogger. I can't be like all these other people that I saw succeeding on YouTube. But I could do this. From my parents' basement, from my room, I could potentially do this. So I took my really crappy, broken phone at the time and I started recording voiceovers. I would actually lower the pitch on them as well because my voice was so high at the time to sound a little bit older and make it sound a little bit more legit. I would edit the videos together on my really bad laptop as well that could barely even run an editing program. And I started making these videos every single day on the platform. Now, this is skipping over a lot, but essentially by 2015, this was about a year into doing this, I reached a point of making about $3,000 per month from my YouTube channel at 15 years old. And the way I got to this point was I uploaded a lot of videos on the channel. Eventually, I had a turning point where a video got over 100,000 views, and I was like, wow, I can actually do this. And I'm going to actually share with you what that secret was a little bit later in this training as well. But essentially, I then found out about the YouTube Partner Program where you can put ads on your videos and make money from ads. I'd actually get my parents' help for signing up for that. And I got ads turned on the channel. And it was like flipping a light switch. I went from making zero money, I've made almost nothing in my entire life, to making $3,000 per month. That was life-changing to me at the time. And I was doing so many things wrong that I'm going to show you how to do it the right way here today. By 2018 then, this was when I graduated high school, I grew my income to making around $30,000 per month, which allowed me to skip going down the traditional path of going to college and doing everything related to that. And now in 2026, I make over $100,000 per month with YouTube through multiple different income streams and strategies and everything else. And across all of my businesses related to YouTube, we do $300,000 to $500,000 per month. Now, I do have to give a disclaimer. Anytime I talk about my own results or any of my students' results or anything like that, I do have to give the disclaimer that these are not typical and I cannot promise you'll do the same. But it's safe to say that YouTube has completely transformed my life in more ways than I can even tell you. YouTube has given me an absolutely incredible life. I was able to, for example, last year in 2025, I brought my parents to both Thailand and Dubai. I flew them first class on a Emirates flight to Dubai and then going to Thailand. I also got them a world-class cruise that they were able to go on. I've been able to dive in submarines, which is a lifelong dream that I've always been wanting to do my entire life. That came true. All of these things. I've met so many friends because of YouTube. I've been blessed enough to got the opportunity to help so many people with this as well. For example, this is Kunal right here. He's making over $50,000 a month from his channel. He was running a family business essentially that he absolutely hated and despised. And now he's got his whole family helping him with his YouTube channels as well. And he's absolutely crushing it on YouTube. Again, none of these results are typical. Don't expect to do millions or anything like that. But I've made so many friends. This is Priyam and I. He's actually my lead developer for my software companies that I have. And he's helped coded them. This was us in India at the Taj Mahal right here. Here's my parents on a first-class flight. And if it wasn't for YouTube, I would be sitting in a college classroom right now. That's just really what I want to stress with this. And I don't want to, be one of those people who's like, never go to college no matter what. There's nothing wrong with the traditional path, but it just wasn't for me. And if you're here on this training right now, that traditional path might not be for you either. So let's go over what is, in my opinion, the best online business right now in 2026. And to do this, we first need to understand what actually makes a good beginner or advanced friendly business. And I see I was just covering up the text right there. I'll move myself out of the way right there. So let's get into secret number one, which is the best YouTube business, which is probably not what you think. So there are 6 key factors that I like to look at when I'm evaluating if a business is beginner friendly or not, starting with marketing, sales, and fulfillment. These are the 3 main factors that make up pretty much any business on earth. Marketing is the cost to acquire customers. Sales is the ease of then converting those prospects to customers. And fulfillment is the difficulty of delivering your product or your service. And then you also have 3 additional factors, such as upfront costs, which is the initial investment required, profit margins, which is how much you keep after expenses. This is super important. So many businesses out there, you might make a lot of gross revenue, but what does it matter if you're not keeping anything? And then passiveness, which is your ability to potentially keep earning without constantly working. So here's where most online business models fall short. Most online business models, for example, dropshipping, have super high ad costs, poor profit margins, and you have to constantly test new products. Then you have business models like social media marketing agencies, where you might run a company's social media. Those are very difficult to get clients, basically creates another 9-to-5 job for you, and it's not passive at all. And then you have Amazon FBA. You have to put thousands of dollars into inventory risk. You need dozens, if not hundreds of sales per month. Plus, it's basically a race to the bottom. Whoever has the cheapest price with things like dropshipping or Amazon FBA are the one that's going to win. And the cheapest price, by definition, means the least amount of profit. So each of these models fills on multiple critical factors that make a business truly beginner-friendly and sustainable, in my opinion. Now, you might be saying, okay, Matt, you're just saying these things because you're biased. You know, you've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I fully admit I am. There are people who make millions of dollars with every single business model out there. But looking at all of these, honestly, I honestly do not believe that these are ideal business models. Whereas when you compare that against running YouTube automation niche channels in educational niches, which I'm going to explain to you what I mean by all that in just a second, basically, you let YouTube promote your content for free. You're not paying for ads, you're not paying for anything else, and you have multiple monetization streams from the first day you start your channel with completely digital delivery. So you don't have to be fulfilling products, sending out products out when people buy them and everything else. Also, you literally just need a YouTube account to get started, meaning that you have very high margins, and your videos can potentially earn money for years after you upload them. So they can potentially be super passive. I still make money from videos that I uploaded back when I was 14 years old. What other business model is that potentially possible in? And I think YouTube is only going to grow over the next 10 years, but only for the people who are doing things the right way, because AI is changing a lot. So the only business model that scores on all 6 of those factors is YouTube automation, if you do it the right way. And so many people are doing it the wrong way and focusing on the wrong things when it comes to doing this. Now, here's just a little bit about my credibility, why you should listen to me. I've been doing YouTube for the past decade. I built over a dozen different successful faceless channels. I've helped over 11,000 people do this themselves as well. We have countless case studies, and I've helped so many people absolutely change their lives with YouTube. All credit goes to them for actually doing it and putting in the work and everything else. But my tactics work, and I'm going to share with you some that you're not going to see anywhere else out there on the internet. So I've generated millions of revenue, got millions of subscribers across my channel. I've made multiple different AI software as well, including TubeMagic and VidAI. These were basically software that I really wanted for myself, so I made it. Then we allowed anybody else to sign up for them if they wanted to as well. So then it's a win-win. I can fund the companies, grow them, and everything else. And as a bonus and as an incentive for sticking with me to the end of this, just to incentivize it as much as possible, I wanted to give you a completely free gift. I'm going to give you a checklist and the SOPs that we're going to be going over throughout this training right here, as well as a replay to this training, which is going to be on this actual checklist. And the only way to get that replay and to also get the checklist and the SOPs is to stick with me until the end. I just want to incentivize it as much as possible, but just know that it is in your best interest, because I'm going to be giving you so much valuable information as well. Plus, I'm going to also give you some 2026 updates and things you need to know about doing this in 2026, because a lot of things have changed, and I want to show you what's changed and how you can take advantage of that. Also, I'm going to be giving you a completely free trial to TubeMagic, which is my AI software, because I will talk about it several times during this training. So instead of just talking about it, I want to give you the opportunity to use it for completely free if you'd like. So now let's get into secret number 2. Now that you know the absolute best business model out there, which is the new way of doing this business model in 2026. So what is YouTube automation in the first place? A lot of people assume, and so many different, get rich quick scheme people out there, on YouTube and on ads and so many other places, they talk about YouTube automation is just pushing a button and you make money. They're telling you that because they're trying to sell you courses. They're trying to get you in part of their programs and everything else. YouTube automation is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a push button and everything's just done automatically. It does require effort. This is a real business, and real businesses do require effort, but hardly anybody knows how to do it the right way. However, there is such a thing as realistic automation. When you get things set up, you can automate certain things way more than the traditional way of doing YouTube. So let's talk about that. With the traditional way of doing YouTube, you get behind a camera, you film videos, and you have to edit the videos. And there's nothing wrong with that way. As mentioned, I have a personal YouTube channel as well that does incredibly good, and it's made me millions and millions of dollars. But that being said, it's a lot of work going into that. And anybody who's done this knows that it can be very draining running a channel like that. There's a reason I don't upload on my personal channel as much as I do on all of my faceless channels. That's because of the amount of work that goes into it. So that's a traditional way, nothing wrong with it. The tactics I'm going to show you will work for traditional channels as well, but that's the way that most people think about when they think about being a YouTuber. Then you have faceless YouTube channels where no camera is required, but most faceless channels do not make much money because they don't know how to run a channel the right way. They're running channels in the wrong niches on the wrong subjects, which don't allow them to monetize properly. And then you have the new way, which is running strategic channels with proper monetization, content funnels, and scaling systems. You might be wondering, what do any of those things even mean? I'm going to explain it to you right now. So here's an overview of how this works. Step one is to choose what I consider to be a profitable money niche. Now, money niche is a niche that you can monetize from the first day that you start your channel, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. Step two then is to set up your monetization first instead of waiting. Don't wait to get 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers like most people have to do when it comes to doing YouTube. You actually don't need to do that, and I'll explain to you in a second. And no, I do not mean buying a YouTube channel or anything else like that. That's just going to get you banned, and I see so many scammy YouTube gurus who are pushing these black hat methods that are just going to get channels banned. Maybe it works in the short term, but it won't long term. I want to show you the real way of doing this in just a second. And then step three is using a proven money video, using a proven script that I can just give you that script, and essentially you'll follow it and you make a super long video on your channel that then you build a content funnel to. And that's step number 4 right here. This is the secret to growing on YouTube like crazy. Nobody else talks about this. The amount of channels that don't do this that would be benefited like crazy if they did is enormous. So I'm going to show you that as well. And then step number 5 is to then scale with a team and multiple different channels. And this is how you're going to scale to the moon. You can scale to as many channels as you want as long as you have a team that's outsourced doing it for you. This is the way that you can scale beyond just one channel and diversify your content holdings so that you aren't just having all your eggs in one basket. And then step 6 is to automate and optimize for maximum profit using AI. And I'm going to show you how to do it the right way without getting your channel banned and without facing any of the pitfalls that most AI channels have to face. So the old way of doing YouTube was choosing a random entertainment niche and making top 10 videos about it. This was the old way of doing YouTube automation, and this is the way that I personally started, and I got to be pretty successful doing this. In fact, all of my YouTube channels that have gotten millions of subscribers and everything else, these are channels where I was doing it in this method, creating videos just like these. And while you can get a lot of views doing this, while I got to the point of making $30,000 a month doing this, there are some downsides with it as well, including that it takes millions of views to make any sizable money. Also, you have to wait to get monetized. And you'll realize that all of the channels that make videos like these are bad niches, and when ad rates fluctuate, it'll make you realize that business like this is not sustainable. If you're completely relying on ad revenue on YouTube, you do not have a sustainable business. There is a far better way of doing YouTube, which I want to show you, which is the new way of doing YouTube automation, like this channel right here. And the new way allows you to monetize immediately, where you choose a money niche that'll make it a lot easier to grow as well. And then when you do grow, you can make a lot more money as you're growing as well. And you can use AI the right way, not just generating slop, but in a way that actually provides a lot of value to people, and you get paid for the amount of value that you give from your channels. So you can use AI the right way for doing this. Plus, you can have a portfolio of channels that all feed each other instead of just one random entertainment channel and then another random entertainment channel and then something happens to that channel. That's the wrong way of going about doing YouTube. I'm going to show you a much better way right now. You might be saying, okay, Matt, that's great, but what niches are actually working right now in 2026 and which niche should I potentially start in. I'm going to be showing you those niches in just a second, but first, you need to understand the secret to structuring your channel correctly to actually succeed with YouTube automation right now. And that secret is something that I like to call the symbiotic system. And how it works is essentially you upload a collection of videos in your niche, and then all of these videos funnel views to a single money video. And your money video follows a specific conversion script. And basically, the way that you're funneling that traffic to that money video is you just simply put links in the descriptions of all your other videos, as well as putting end screens on all of your other videos. So after they watch your video, they get redirected to that money video. Now, your money video is a super long video. And this is a secret that nobody talks about on YouTube, which is that the most important metric on YouTube is not views.